Hello and welcome back to our channel. In this video, we will be exploring the question of whether or not spiritual growth can be measured. While some people believe that spiritual growth is a subjective and personal experience that cannot be quantified, others believe that there are objective criteria that can be used to measure spiritual growth. Let's take a closer look at this topic. Spiritual growth is often seen as a personal and subjective experience that is difficult to measure. After all, how can we measure something as intangible as spiritual growth? However, there are some who believe that spiritual growth can be measured in certain ways. One way is by looking at changes in behavior. For example, if someone becomes more patient, compassionate, and forgiving, this could be a sign of spiritual growth. Similarly, if someone is more able to forgive themselves and others, this could be a sign of increased self-awareness and emotional maturity. Another way to measure spiritual growth is by looking at changes in mindset. If someone is more able to let go of negative thoughts and emotions, or to reframe their thoughts in a more positive way, this could be a sign of spiritual growth. Similarly, if someone is more able to see the interconnectedness of all things, or to view the world in a more compassionate and empathetic way, this could be a sign of increased spiritual awareness. There are also more formal ways of measuring spiritual growth. For example, some spiritual traditions use specific practices or rituals to help individuals measure their progress. In the Buddhist tradition, for instance, one can measure spiritual growth by looking at one's progress in the Eightfold Path. This path includes principles such as right speech, right action, and right livelihood, and can be used as a framework for assessing spiritual growth. Similarly, in the Christian tradition, one can measure spiritual growth by looking at one's progress in the fruits of the Spirit. These fruits include love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. By assessing one's progress in these areas, one can gain a better understanding of their spiritual growth. Other examples of measuring spiritual growth may include changes in relationships, increased levels of gratitude, greater sense of purpose or meaning, and a stronger connection to nature. For example, if someone is able to maintain more positive and healthy relationships with those around them, this could be a sign of spiritual growth. Similarly, if someone is more able to express gratitude and appreciate the world around them, this could be a sign of increased spiritual awareness. Furthermore, if someone is able to find a greater sense of purpose or meaning in their life, this could be a sign of spiritual growth. And if someone is more able to connect with and appreciate the beauty of nature, this too could be a sign of increased spiritual awareness. While these examples are certainly not exhaustive, they do provide some insight into the many ways that spiritual growth can be measured and experienced. In conclusion, the question of whether or not spiritual growth can be measured is a complex and multifaceted one. While there are some who believe that spiritual growth can be measured in certain ways, others see it as a more subjective and personal experience that cannot be quantified. Ultimately, it is up to each individual to determine what methods work best for them in assessing their own spiritual growth. Thank you for joining us for this exploration of the question of measuring spiritual growth. We hope that you have found it insightful and inspiring, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.